So yeah, this is the last week of January, also the first week of Feb. So the week was good. It was almost the same as last week. $111 this week. So I'm gonna review my trade this week. So let's start Monday. That's the 30. So I only had one trade. Hold on. So most of my trades this week is on the 15 minute. So let's see. All right, here we go. So this is not. This was taken on the 15 minute, right? So I think the idea is pretty obvious here. So there's the yeah, there's the support here formed, um, and then I sold on the break of this 15-minute candle. My stop loss was around here, and yeah. So let's switch back to 15 minutes. Let's see. Sorry, 5 minutes. Let's see what happened. And so yeah, this was I held this trade for 10 minutes. Yeah. Um, yeah, and yeah, 10 minutes. This is already in the 5 minute. Yeah, yeah. I would have added a new position here, but I'm a little cautious. Why? Because this is this was on higher time frame. This was a big support. Hold on. There you go. Support, right? And during this time when pre-New York, going to New York, usually what I've observed last week and this week is that it corrects the move. Um, it corrects the London session, right? So the London session obviously is going down. Pre-New York, there's a good possibility that it will correct the move, and it did, right? So that's why I was pretty cautious and just um, uh, closed the position right there after the second 5 minute candle after the trade, right? So that was Monday. Following day, right, let me switch back to 15 minutes. Following day was break even. So the idea is the same. So I saw this on the 15 minute, right? So I opened the position when the price broke the low of the previous 15-minute candle. I really wanted to open the position if it breaks the low of the this bullish 15-minute candle, right? So because there's a cleaner range to correct. So what time was this? Um, all right. So this is New York session already. So this is London, London. Um, this was pre-New York. So yeah, this day was also the same as the other day, the day before. Yeah, the moves were corrected during the New York session, right? And so that means that if this, I think that's the reason why I was a little cautious, right? Because I'm on a sell position and I'm supposed to be on a buy position because New York, yeah, because I have that idea, I have the theory that it will correct the move, right? And yeah, so this is it in the 5 minute candle. I yeah, I so when the price, so after I opened the position here and sell, the price moved down. I decided not to close, hold a little more longer, but I also well at the same time I move my stop loss so that it will break even, right? So that's a risk-free trade. So that's my new objective right now. So every time I open a trade, whenever I see the opportunity, I try to make that trade a risk-free trade, and then I can decide whether or not I would trail the stops or if I can add a second position, depending on how things go. Yeah. So yeah, risk-free trade. Um, but yeah, I think that was okay though. Uh, well, it went back down. but I think that's okay because really in the higher time frame went back up, right? So just a single trade on Tuesday. Now let's move on to Wednesday here. That's the first. Yeah, that was the last day of um, January. So February open. Okay, so I took the trade. This trade. Yeah, that's also pre-New York. Okay. Yeah, this is a pretty good trade right here. Uh, so again, the this is the same observation that I got past week. Also this week as well. Yeah, New York will correct the moves from London. It doesn't always happen, but these past 2 weeks, if it's been doing its thing, that thing, right? So after this, there was a little 15-minute um, consolidation here. So I just waited for the price to break. Actually, I was also as far as I can remember, I think I was also trying to sell. I mean, to look for um, confirmations for sell, and I think it's right outside this consolidation. So if the price breaks the low, I would have sold. If the price breaks the high, I would have bought. So this is what happened. So I bought this one. Let's see how long I held this trade. Yeah, 6 minutes. Yeah. Um, Switch back to 5 minute. Okay. So this is it. Um, yeah, I close on it after the next 5 minute. Yeah, I think my my TP is supposed to be at the top of this. This is 4070, and my TP is, yeah. Yeah, I was really aiming for the price to cover this range, right? Um, but at the same time, again, I was also pretty cautious. Why? Because that's a resistance, and if a price approaches resistance, it might, go back down to create another support and then continue going back up. And I don't want to be part of when the I don't want to be part of the time when the price forms a support, because you'll experience drawdown. I will have to go through a drawdown, which right now I'm not comfortable enough to hold positions during drawdown. Yeah, that's why. And yeah, but I think this is a pretty premature close. I closed this one right on the open, right? And this is really, I think now that this is, quite a bad decision. Why? I saw the wick formed already, right? And that's a confirmation that, I mean, that's a good confirmation that it might continue pushing up because it already formed the wick, right? Um, Hold on, hold on. I think I'm actually wrong. No, during this time, I just closed it. I think I just closed it right after the close of this 5 minute. I didn't saw this wick forming, but now that I'm seeing the aftermath, um, I think I should have just made this one a risk-free trade, move my stop loss to break even, wait for the next 5 minutes to close, and then trail the stops. But yeah, trailing stops. I think that's another thing that I I'm still trying to practice. I something that I'm not used to doing, but hopefully I will be good at it. Um, or also one thing that would allow me to cover more range is to close partial positions, or close my position partially. Is what I'm trying to say. So if I have a one lot position, then I can close, I don't know, maybe half or 80% of it, and then let the rest run. So I got that from Raja, and I mean the guy is a veteran. He does that so good. But yeah, I still need to break to get that kind of confidence. But in order for me to gain that confidence, I think one of these days I should try it, right? I should try it. So yeah, that's pre New York, and later that day is also the bank rates, U.S. bank rates. So they changed the bank rates. I mean, they updated it. Um, quite lost. It's 21. Yeah, it's this one. So this was the news release, right? Yeah, 2100 hour. Right, this was the news release, and the price created a lower wick here and closed bearish on 5 minutes. So I was thinking on the next candle, as it was moving up, I was anticipating that it was just a pullback, and so I decided to, you know, make a sell, and then my stop loss would be the flip, right? And I think it was pretty fast. Yeah, it's just 1 minute. I close it. Yeah, obviously because of the volume, right? That's a huge fall, big news, right? Um, and during this time, that's -7, right? I already lost all of my earnings during the week. It was a bad trade. First, it's news that I'm not really familiar with. Second, I I use my usual volume for something that I'm not used to, right? This is not my setup, right? If I'm trying to experiment on something, I think I should be using a smaller volume, smaller lot size, right? But I didn't. I think I wasn't conscious enough to make that decision, and just I was just eyeing for the big price because there's a huge range that you could fill. So yeah, yeah, right there, I panicked, and I did something that I shouldn't be doing, and that's chasing losses. Um, so yeah, the next trades during the day, the next three trades, I did that to cover my losses, right? So I was chasing my losses. Um, yeah, that's something that I shouldn't be doing because then I'm trying to say that the trades are somewhat related, right? If I lost this one, the next trade should be able to cover those losses. I think that's a very wrong um, mindset because, as I've said a couple of times before, it's each trade is mutually exclusive. It doesn't affect the previous trades nor the future trades, right? So yeah, it's easier said than done. That's what I realized, and I also realized that I'm still pretty not that disciplined. It shows a lot on how disciplined I am right now. Although I was able to recover most of my losses, so I think at the end of this day, I still lost like 64. Sorry, 0.60 something dollars. All right, so I think it was successful though. Me chasing my loss, I think that was successful during this time, and I think that's also pretty dangerous at the same time because if it's a practice that I don't want to do and then I did it and I succeed, I'm more likely to do it again because I succeeded this time, and I have to like internalize this very very well because I don't want that to happen, right? I don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna skip the next three trades here, because those were taken without regards to the setup that I'm looking for, right? So now let's proceed with Thursday. Right, this was it. So Thursday, hold on, let me switch to 15 minute first. that one? It's this one. Okay. So support was formed. Yeah, this is, basically what I'm waiting for every trade, right? So support formed, next candle breaking the high of the support. Yeah, that's where I bought, and let's see how long I was. So right now, I'm pretty conscious. I'm slightly getting conscious in how long I hold my trade because I've seen many times before where I close prematurely, right? And I could have won bigger. So yeah, I'm trying to think of ways how I can avoid um, those, scenarios. And yeah, 48. It was, oh yeah, I think I held this one pretty long, right? More than 10 minutes. Okay, so let's see what happens. So switch back to 15. There you go. Yeah, waited for. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I remember. I think this was my first try, my first crack on trying to trail my stops. So what I was trying to do is to, um, make this, of course, a risk-free trade by moving my stop loss on the break even, and on the following 5 minutes, 5 minute candles, I would wait for it to close, and I will slowly move my my stop loss at the low because this is a buy, right? So I will move the stop loss at the lows of the 5 minute candles. But it did not materialize. I yes, I did still try to trail it, but I was not trailing the low. I was trailing the high of the previous candle. So yeah, I did trail. Yeah, and as you can see, this is where it closed. So if I really was following uh, my initial strategy, it still would have won a little, almost like break even here, right? It was pretty close to my open position. Um, but I think it would be better if my trailing stop strategy is to wait for a new support to be formed, something like this, at 5 minutes. A new support was formed, then that's when I move the stop loss. But yeah, it's always easier said than done because there were more candles, 5 minute candles that tried to break this low, and yeah, I think that would be hard as well. And also there were, resistances here, so I think that was still, a pretty good call. But yeah. So Friday, this was a fake out. My first loss on Friday was a fake out. Um, Here you go. This is a 15 minute, and this was after NFP. So I would like to, um, I'd say I'd like to congratulate myself for not trading the news release. I have a really bad history with NFP. I think I've lost a lot trying to trade the news, but this time around I waited um, for the price to slowly come down, right? Volatility to also die, and yeah. So let's see what happened here. So I think what I did wrong here is that I did not wait for any support to be formed, right? I was just thinking that maybe the volume will continue push the price down. I just waited for the price to break the low of this previous 15-minute candle, but um, looking back, I think that was really a bad decision. Why? First, this 15-minute candle was actually respecting this, right? This 15-minute candle did not respect, right? There's also no support form. It did break, but no support form. And yeah, I think this should be the time when I should wait for candles to close below a certain level. And I think this was this level, right? So imagine if this closed bullish and then the next candle breaks the low, that would have been a better. sell position, right? It would have been a better sell position. Okay. And so, yeah, that was a fake out. And so I was waiting for the next 15. If this was really a fake out, and we will correct the moves of the NFP, then it should break um, this previous 15-minute candle as well. But to be extra sure, I waited for it to break the high of this 15-minute candle as well. So there's my buy, and there's also something that I tried. So as you can see here, this is just zero point 0.5 lots because I did try to sorry, so let's go back to the last year first. So during this time I wasn't so sure about this trade. I already got a hunch that it might go against me. So I used zero point 0.5, and but this time around the next two trades I what I did here is I wanted to try to there's there's a term for this one, but let's just call it multiple position. So I divided my risk. So I usually risk one lot, right? This time around, I divided it and opened two positions on different places, different price levels. First position when it broke the previous two highs of the 15-minute candle. Second position opened after the next 5 minute broke the high of this 5 minute candle, right? And I closed on the previous resistance here. That was good. I think that was a good decision. Um, although I think my initial TP, can I still see it here? Is 4143. The high is, yeah, I can see because this is already the deals. Anyway, I think really what I'm trying to do, trying to say is that I really wanted to cover most of the moves here, and if I waited for this candle to form, then I would have reached my TP right there. Overall, yeah, that was a good try of me splitting my risk during news, right? Because there's a lot of volume, and I'm not really sure where the price is going, but I've seen the setup. That's why I went in. And yes, so next week hopefully I would still end that week with the win. So yeah, that's win 2 week win streak for me.